Breaking news. Notice that red light right there? The Green Bay Packers just released kicker Brandon Mcmanus. Smack time. Okay, guys, wow, I'm a little surprised. I guess, it makes sense, right? But I kind of thought maybe they'd let Brandon compete with Smack because, as we know more than anybody, there's no guarantees, even at kicker, even when you draft one, even when you trade up for one, there's no guarantees, especially with a rookie, right? So I thought maybe they'd keep him around and have him kick through camp. I do wonder if Brandon maybe asked for his release or if the Packers just wanted to clear the way for Smack and Haversick to get all the snaps kicking in camp and whatnot, and the offseason programs starting here soon. So, I don't know. It's a kind of a curious case, but the clear answer is that the Packers think that Smack is going to be their kicker. Trey Smack, guys, he's going to be our guy, it looks like. Haversick will be probably in there to kick in camp and to kick in OTAs and whatever else. I mean, he was pretty good at times. He obviously has their now record-long kick from last year. So I think, Mcmanus obviously was making he just got a 3-year deal for like almost $16 million last offseason. And that's how quick things go in this NFL, especially at this kicker position. And we clearly were not good enough. I'll say it over and over again. You make a few kicks here and there last year in some of these games, and we're ending up with 4 or 5 more wins than we had. And that's tough to swallow. And, even in the playoff game and the other game against the Bears and the Dallas game that we tied, Cleveland, like all these different games where we lost, you can just, and, I'm missing many. Just got to make kicks. And I said it in my last video, the Super Bowl teams in the NFL do not miss kicks consistently or consistently have kicker issues throughout a season. It's just not something that's going to happen for a Super Bowl champion team. And if we want to be that, we have some clarity. Again, the competition would have probably brought out the best, but I think Smack's going to be the best anyway. And it would have been a surprise, and I would have had a tough time believing that they would. Even if Smack was a little worse than Mcmanus in camp, I still think they would have kept him just because of the capital that they invested. And Mcmanus is 37 or whatever he is, and we've got Haversick who's pretty young, but Smack is the guy for the long term, and that's their hope at least. So it's exciting. I mean, we have a new kicker, Trey Smack. They traded up for him. They feel great about him, clearly, if you're going to cut a guy like Mcmanus. Other part of it is they paid him $1 million roster bonus in March. Mcmanus, they gave him $1 million in March, assuming, I guess, what? That he maybe they thought, if we can't get Smack in the draft, we'll have Mcmanus compete with Haversick and maybe an undrafted kicker or whatever, and then may the best man win. But when they got their guy, it didn't even bother, right? The competition may not be necessary if they feel like he's their guy, and they obviously want to give him as much confidence as possible. Trey Smack being a rookie kicker from Florida, coming into a cold weather area, having to kick. There's been struggles behind him for the last couple of years now, since Mason Crosby. There's a lot of pressure to be in this spot, that player, in the situation he's in, like we said, young, rookie, all these things. This certainly instills some confidence in him, I would imagine, and I think it's good for the Packers. It's good for Trey Smack. Obviously, having a guy that can kick is the goal. So if this does anything to boost those chances of Smack being the guy, then I am all for it. Let's kick special teams out of the picture in terms of worries. And let's kick some field goals and extra points, especially those extra points, because they matter just as much. And we seem to miss a lot of those guys. So, let's hope for no heartbreak this year. And let's smack the heartbreak out of here, man. God bless the Green Bay Packers. And go Pack, go.